Chumash Parshat Vayeishev, holding now Shvi, the 40th chapter, Parak Mem, Aleph. Vayachad Vanamela was after all these occurrences. Chotu Mashke Melech Mitzrayim Vayeifeh, so the cupbearer of the king of Mitzrayim and the baker sinned against La'adineim, and Melech Mitzrayim sinned against the master, against the king of Mitzrayim. Rashi says, Achad Varmela, Lefishir, Gelo Yisarur, Sasadik Lefich, Chulam Ladaber, Brother Ganisi, since B'ti for our custom, everyone to talk bad about Vayeishev, Hevi Lavakadish Baruch Hu, Strachan Shalelo. So Hashem brought the story of the Egyptians, the sins of these men, Shiyifnu Aleim V'lei Elov, so people would turn their attention to them, to these people, and not to Vayeishev. And also, so that the relief would come to the tzaddik through them. Chatu, they sinned. Zenim says vu b'fayli pekidin shalei. The cupbearer had a fly. A fly was found in his goblet that he gave the king. Zenim says tzirir b'gluskin shalei, and concerning the one of the baker, a pebble was found in his bread. He found the baker as pas amelach, the king's bread. The lashon afiyah pas. The expression afiyah applies only to bread. Beis vayifzer pari alshnei pari became angry over these two ministers. Asar Mashko, Asar Ephim, against the cupbearer and the chief baker. But he did Mishmar, he put them in prison. Beisar, the Bachal, Beisar, became actually Yosef Orasham. He placed them in prison, into the house of the chief of the Sarat Bacham, into the prison place where Yosef was in jail. Yifkit Sarat Bacham as Yosef, Itom Yishar Yosef. Vayu Yomim b'Mishmar. And the chief of the Sarat Bachim appointed Yosef to be with them, and he served them, and they were a year in prison. So Yosef Yifkit Sarat Bachim Yosef Lias Yitam to be with them. Vayu Yomim b'Mishmar Shtemes Rechedesh 12 months. Vayachlemu Chalim Shneim Ish Chalim B'Layla Echad. Now both of them dreamed the dream. Ish Kapishin Chalami. Each one of his dreams the same night. Each man according to the interpretation of his dreams. The cupbearer and the baker of the kingdom of Mitzrayim were confined in prison. Simple means that both of them dreamed the dream. This is the simple explanation. But the Medrash teaches us that each dreamed both dreams. Meaning that they dreamed his own dream and the interpretation of the other person's dream. So and this is what it means that the chief baker saw that he interpreted well. Each of them dreamed a dream similar to the interpretation destined to befall him. And Yosef came up in the morning. Came to them in the morning, and he saw that they were very zef in their troubles, and Rashat saved them, they were sad. Mesar v'zof, sad and upset, Zav Hashem Esa. The pasuk says, I will bear the fury of Hashem. Pasuk Zav, Vayishal, the Srisi Pare, Asher Itim Mishmer Beis Adenu B'Lemer. He asked Pare's chief, or with him in the prison of his master, saying, Madua Pneichem Ro'em Me'em, why are your faces so sad today? I really love, and they said to him, Chalim Chalamno, we dreamed the dream, and there's no interpretation. So Yosef said, doesn't Hashem interpret dreams? So tell them to me. So the chief of the Sar Mashkim told his dream to Yosef. He said, in my dream, behold, a vine is before me. And this vine, and this vine had 3 tendrils. Also nitza, and it seemed to be blossoming. If Shiloh and its buds came out, then the clusters ripened into grapes. Asher says, what's sarigim? Zmoiris arukas. These are very long branches called tendrils. It seems to be blossoming. Meaning it resembles blossoming, and it seems to me my dream as if for a blossoming. And after the blossom, its buds came exempt. And after Smadar, they became tiny grapes. Ashpanar Belas. Achach if Shila did it ripened, but he Kala Frachas at Pekas, the Lavluven at Khan, Tirgum Shal Parachas Nate Skolam, and Parachas Siv, Vayeishev Year Nitzel. And then it became blossom until here the Targum for Parachas. So in next.
Stop it. Go ahead.
It says, and they had blossomed, and afterwards, and Pari's cup was in my hand. I took the grapes, squeezed them into Pari's cup. And I placed the cup in Pari's palm. The Rashi, Mishnah, there are many instances in the language of the Mishnah. This is the meaning. This tendrils are 3 days. Symbolizes 3 days. So, Yisrael said, another 3 days Pari will remember you with the other officers. He will restore your position, and you will place Pari's cup into his hands according to your previous custom when you were as a Saramashkin. Yisrael Pari's Rishar, Silafin Cheshbin, Kishiyifkit, Sharabad, Lashar Stefan, even Isqaymayan. Literally will raise your head in the expression of numbery. When he counts the rest of his servants to serve him at the feast, he will count you along with Rashi Kanecha, Basir Shapha, Meshirecha, your base and your seats. Ki im zachartani itcha, kashayita Allah wa sisa, no imad ichasid, iskartani al pari, ve'sisani min abayis. Remember me when things go well, and please do me a favor and mention me to Pari, and you will get me out of this house. So Rashi, Ashim zachartani itcha machar shayita l'chok Israeli, but keep me in mind since it will go well as I have interpreted. Pasik Idal Kim Zachartani Itcha Vasisi Yimadi Chasiv Skatani Al Pari with Sisi Nabai. Remember me when things go well to you. Please do me a favor and mention me to Pari, and you will get me out of this house. So Rashi Ashim Zachartani Itcha Machashita L'chak V'Shrei. Keep me in mind since it will go well as I have interpreted. Vasisi Yimadi Chasiv Inna Elashem Makasha no means pleading. Kigunav Ganafti, Maris Evrim. I was stolen from the lands of the Hebrews. Here too I have done nothing. For they have put me into the dungeon. And the chief baker saw that he interpreted well. I said to Yosef, I too saw in my dream, in my dream, behold, there were 3 wicker baskets on my head. The Rashi Salam Shalom baskets of peeled willows made with many holes. In our country, France, there are many such baskets. And there's a custom of vendors to hollow wafers. To put them into baskets. And in the topmost basket were all kinds of Pari's foods. The work of baker, and the birds for eating from them, the baskets on top of my head. So he said the 3 baskets are 3 days. So he said in 3 days, Pari is going to remove your head from you, hang you on the gallows, and the birds will eat your flesh. That came to pass on the 3rd day of Pari's birthday, and Pari made a big feast for his servants. And he counted the chief of the mashkim, the chief amongst the servants. This is the birth, the day of birth. Apparently, Yom Ginusia. It's also called the day Yom Ginusia, day in Greek. Lashon Heledis, the expression of Heledis, which is because the child is born through other people. The midwife assists the woman to give birth. This is why Achai is called Miyaledis, the one who causes birth. And after your birth, on the day you were born. And actually, Uchabi says that after the mark was washed, for the washing was done by others. He says, he counted them with the rest of the servants. For he was counting the servants who would serve him in his feast. And he remembered these amongst them. Especially in counting. And he restored the chief cupbearer at his position as a cupbearer, and he placed the cup on Pharaoh's palm. And the chief baker he hanged, as Yosef has interpreted. The pasuk concludes, and the Saramashkim did not remember Yosef, and he forgot. It was Rashi, afterwards. You should tell him Yosef the Zochrei, because Yosef relied on him to remember him. Because of that, he was compelled to be confined for another 2 years in prison. Praiseworthy is the man who made trust in Hashem and did not turn to Rahavim, haughty people. Like Badach HaMitzrayim, he did not turn to the Egyptians, Akruvim Rav, who are called Rav, haughty.